Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And in the previous class, we have seen the relational algebra, how relational algebra can be operated using selection, projection, and union, join, different kinds of operations are there. All those operations, how you could perform, we have seen in the previous class. And today, we would like to see next the continuation of that class, that is relational calculus. So basically, what is the basic difference between relational calculus and relational algebra here in the sense? Relational calculus is always provide just a declaration point of view of your total query. Okay, your query will be specified with a declaration form, whereas your relational algebra will always concentrates on how you have to evaluate the query. What is the specification to evaluate the query will be taken care by the relational algebra. So let me consider, if you want to select total data from the specific table, that is employee whose salary is greater than something. So for that one, we would like to specify something less. So sigma, let me say salary is greater than or equal to some 2000 or 3000, however, whatever the value it may be, some predicate it might be of this particular EMP. So in this way, we have to specify the relational algebra relational algebraic expression in relational algebra over there. Okay, so here we have to evaluate how the things are being happening. This EMP is one particular table which does have several number of entries in the sense several number of columns are there, several number of rows will be available. So the rows which could be satisfies salary is greater than or equal to 2000 will be displayed over there. Okay, will be evaluated over there, not exactly displayed, evaluated over there. That is what the specification where exactly we need to consider in terms of relational algebra. Whereas in relational calculus, so it could be, it gives you only declaration part, how you can declare a tuple and what are the conditions which could be operated on tuple. Tuple in the sense row. Tuple is a technical word, row is a general dictionary word. So how a row can be satisfied the condition, so that could be specified here. The relational calculus will be two types. One is tuple relational calculus. Tuple in the sense one particular row, entire row will be get satisfied while we have to operate a tuple relational calculus. Second one is domain relational calculus. Domain in the sense for a particular attribute. So try to remember one thing, tuple in the sense completely one row can be represented, complete row can be row. If you take complete row in the sense, a row will be formed by using several number of attributes. Let me consider our employee. So EMP number, employee number. So this is one column, employee name. So this is another column. So similarly, so job type or job, this is another column, and so on and so forth, the department number. So this is the last column. So if you are supposed to talking about a tuple, so this entire tuple will be gets calculated. Okay, you do have several number of rows under this particular tuple. Employee number 1, A, and the job type is associate professor, assistant professor, and department number is some 20, some 2, the B. So assistant professor and have department number is some 20, something like this. So on this entire row, tuple relation calculus will be gets operated. Whereas domain calculus will be taken into consideration on only one column, on only one attribute. Every attribute does have its own domain. Every attribute does have its own domain. If you consider department number, as far as the example is concerned by our SQL, thereby we do have only 4 departments, either 10, 20, 30, or 40. Okay, only these 4. This 4 will be the domain of the department number. Okay, something like so it could be taken into consideration. So if you are talking about, especially talking about domain relational calculus, we will talk about only the attribute of behavior in this domain relational calculus. Okay, today we will concentrate on So tuple relational calculus here. How the tuple relational calculus will be gets operated, let us know. Okay. And the relational algebra, as I specified just before, the relational algebra is always give you the procedure how to evaluate the query, So how the query could be evaluated, how the condition could be gets operated. So in that aspect, relational algebra is being written. Whereas the relational calculus, probably that might be tuple relational calculus or domain relational calculus, it doesn't give any procedure. It doesn't give any procedure, but it could be gives you how to evaluate the query. Okay, what are the conditions? What are the specific conditions which could be operate on one particular row or one particular column has been given by the relational calculus. Okay. And here a variable. So we, while specifying something about relational calculus, we may be define our own variables. A variable in tuple relational calculus will be gives you a range of tuples. Range of tuples in the sense, if you consider our default table, that is EMP does have 14 rows are there. So that variable can be hold all 14 rows. If you take some other table which does have some 2000 rows, that variable can be hold all 2000 rows at a time. So that is the meaning of range of tuples. Okay. And then, so if you consider in domain relational calculus, DRC, the range of individual values will be taken into consideration of one particular attribute. Range of individual attributes in the sense, employee number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to some 2000 people are there, 2000 numbers will be there. So it could be taken or it could be concentrate on only employee number. It doesn't care about remaining all other attributes. You please remember this one. So that is the basic difference between these two. Okay. So tuple relational calculus is always taking care of all tuples or rows within the table, whereas the domain relational calculus will be always taking care about only values of one attribute. If you want to specify one more attribute, you need to add one more attribute to the domain relational calculus. Okay, something like that. That is the basic difference between these two. While a variable will be taken into consideration in tuple relational calculus or domain relational calculus. Okay. Then followed by, let us talk about this particular tuple relational calculus. I may be give you some exercises to you. You please write everything and take the photograph and forward to me through classrooms. However, how that could be done, let me show you. So tuple relational calculus, how this could be here in the sense, the relational calculus or tuple relational calculus is a logical language which could be taken some variables over a range of tuples. Already told you what is over range of a tuple here. Already told you this one. The general form of tuple relational calculus will be open and closed curly braces. Within this open and closed curly braces, you have to mention. So tuple variable list, you could specify T1, T2, T3, or A, B, C. However, you can specify your own values such that this is such that condition. Whatever the condition, you have to specify. So it could also be mentioned, so T such that condition of T. So this particular T will be total tuple. So if any tuple will be satisfied with this condition, only those tuples will be gets displayed. I'll give you some examples, then you could understand very easily. So T in the sense a tuple of tuple variable, it could be so represents all tuples in the relation. As far as employee table in our example, total 14 rows are there. All 14 rows will be represented by one single variable, that is T here. And then condition will be whatever the condition you may be described. For example, display the details of all employees whose salary is greater than or equal to some 3,000. So where condition will be T dot salary is greater than or equal to some 3,000. I'll give you the examples also, don't worry. So in that way, you have to display. Let us see one example. You could take a generic example T. So T such that relation of T. What does it means? a tuple which could be taken, total tuples which could be taken into consideration of that relation that is table are, so display everything. Okay, don't apply any kind of condition. If you specify something like this, all rows of that particular tuple will be gets displayed. For example, let me open notepad here for a while. So for example, wanted to display something like this, something like this. So display the details of all employees, for example, that is the query. Display the details of all employees. If you want to specify this one, what exactly you need to write in tuple relational calculus here in the sense, open curly brace. You can take whatever the variable name. Variable name is doesn't matter here. So T in the sense it is a proper word or proper character which could be identified as tuple, so that we have taken into tuple such that my relation name is EMP of T. Okay, this is what. This is what the information regarding to, I mean, the relational, tuple relational calculus kind of output or answer for this particular query. Similarly, if you want to specify some other table, if you want to specify some other table, display the details of all departments, for example, then how could you write here in the sense, so T such that, so DEPT of T, something like this you have to specify. Something like this you have to specify. Okay, in this way you have to specify that particular thing if you want to display entire data of that particular table, entire data of that particular table. Whereas if you operate some kind of condition, okay, this could be called as the selection. Actually, of course, selection does include some conditions. Of course, we haven't included any predicate here. Selection, and this could be projection. I wanted to select only one or two columns. I wanted to select only one or two columns. For example, so here T dot E name such that EMP dot T. What does it means? All employee names of that particular EMP relation. Let us consider. So for example, let me take so display all display names and salaries of all employees. If you would specify something like this, so how you have to specify like this here in the sense, so T dot E name, that is first column, followed by comma T dot SAL, that is second column. So such that so EMP of T. So that is the meaning of, that is the way you have to specify. So all tuples will be taken into consideration, but you have to select, you are not supposed to display all attributes on the specific tuple. You may be restricted that only employee name and salary. And don't go off other attributes. Based on query, we have to write the answer in such a way. Okay. So this is the projection kind of thing. And there are certain quantifiers are there. So already I told you, if you take any T here, the T will be, for example, if your table or if your relation R will be having some, so 10,000 records are there, 10,000 records will be there. All, I mean, rows are there. All 10,000 will be identifies this particular T here. Whereas quantifiers will be restricted some number of rows by operating some conditions. Okay, by operating some conditions. So these quantifiers will be restricted some number of tuples from the table here. Then how it could be? So these will be quantifiers will be specifies some or all. Normally, you people are used there exist. I hope that this symbol will be known to you. For all kind of thing. This is this symbol also known to you, I think. And this could be existed in terms of predicates. If given predicate will be true, those rows will be displayed. Okay, let us have a look here. Quantifiers will be two types. Number one, universal quantifier. Universal quantifier is for all, and existential quantifier, that is there exist. Okay, that is there exist. So these two are also pretty much important while talking about tuple relational calculus here. Let us take how the existential quantifier could be operated here. This could be take So there exists T in the sense, again, it is tuple, such that, so condition on R. There exists T such that the condition on R. What does it mean? Let us take, if this condition will be succeeded, so on at least one tuple, of that particular T, then it could be displayed. Okay, it could be displayed the data. For example, if you consider, so there exists M, I'm giving some mathematical point of view, there exists M such that M square equal to M. So M will be natural numbers, M will be equal to, for example, 1, 2, and so on, some N, where N will be some certain number. Okay, so M square equal to M. So 1 square will be equal to 1. So at least it has been satisfied with this particular condition. So therefore, M will be gets displayed completely. Okay, that is the meaning of there exists. At least one tuple will be get satisfied. Complete set of tuples will be gets displayed over there. So that is the meaning. Then let us consider, if you consider this particular thing, so here condition, you have specified a clear condition here. So therefore, where exactly the condition will be get satisfied, they will be displayed here. So that is the basic difference between these two. Here, we did not mention any kind of relation. We have mentioned only condition. But here we have taken some relation also. So within this relation, what are the columns which could be satisfied this particular? What are the tuples which could be satisfied this condition on this column? Column is salary, which is greater than or equal to 3,000 will be satisfied. Then that could be displayed. Okay. Then universal quantifier for all will also be specified in the same fashion. So if a condition will be returns true, if condition will be returns true on every tuple, then the data will be displayed. Okay, on which tuples? Every tuple in the sense 20 tuples are there, 20 rows are there. All 20 rows could not be satisfy the condition. Where exactly condition will be get satisfied, they could be displayed. Okay, so let us take some examples here. Already I have drawn some kind of examples here. Example number 1, list all employees belonging to department number 20. How you could write this one? So this is the way. This is the way you have to write. E, my tuple name is E, such that E, EMP of E and employee.E.DEPTNY equal to 20. You may write something like this. And list all employees numbers and names of managers. So look at this E such that employee.E and E.job equal to manager. In this way, you have to specify something like this. So already I have given some kind of questions to you. I have already given some kind of prepared some kind of questions for you, and I will upload all those questions to Google Classroom, DBMS Google Classroom, and you are expected to solve those questions in Oracle and in relational algebra. So you are expected to solve the questions for each and every question. You have to solve the question by using SQL. Select everything from something like that. You have to solve this one, and I'll classify you using which kind of language you have to write it. I'll classify you using SQL. You have to solve the questions. Using a relational algebra, you have to calculus. You have to write the answers, and using tuple relational calculus also you need to write. All these three can be used to solve those questions. Okay, I'll show you the questions at this right now. Right now, I'll show you the questions here. I'll show the questions here. So these are the questions here which are available for us. Will be taking some time. Yeah, these are the questions. So employee and the DEPT tables on these two tables. So I have been prepared approximately almost some 90 questions have been 90 queries have been prepared. 92 queries are there here. So if you are execute these queries, you may be get some kind of command on SQL, complete command on SQL. I have given the clear classification here: general queries, where class queries, and then working with null, and then like operators, and then columns which are participating in expressions, and then order by class, and then functions, and then so group by and having classes, and then joins, and then set operations, and then subqueries, and then exist on all any. So subqueries with multi-row subqueries will be taken. So different kinds of questions have been given to you. I will forward this document to you, all of you, through Google Classrooms, and you please download it. And I'm also give the data of EMP and DEPT. I'll also forward one particular file which is in .SQL. If you have systems with you, so just run that particular file in our SQL, whatever SQL prompt, then everything will be comes to you. Okay, every data will be comes to you, and you may be able to run all these queries as like us in such a way. Okay, I'll give you for this particular, you will forward this particular thing to your so Google Classroom today, right now itself. After completion of this, so I'll forward it. Okay, so that's what I have prepared for this particular class. And you are expected to, first of all, you need to solve all those questions using SQL first. Using SQL first, you have to solve all those questions. After completion of your submission, I will reload the same for one more due date, and the second due date you may be solve everything. I mean, I'll list out the numbers. These numbers will be able to write using relational algebra. I'll list out the numbers. Those numbers of questions must be so written by you using relational algebra. Similarly, I'll also list out some number of queries. So those numbers will be so list out by using this particular Tuple relational calculus. So first of all, you need to solve all questions by using SQL. Okay. So I'll give you some 3 to 4 days time to finish up that particular all queries. How you have to specify here in the sense, let us consider if you are supposed to take this particular query, this query could be taken by me and open your MS Word, paste this particular query here, and then the answer will be select everything from so EMP. So that is the answer. It is expected. It is enough. I do have this particular thing. This is enough for me. You don't give any kind of data after this one. So if you go ahead and look into this particular thing, wait for a while. Yeah. So set pages. 50. So the query will be so select everything from EMP. This is enough. I don't require any kind of answer. Okay, I don't require any kind of answer from you. Okay, do one thing. Sorry, everybody, all of you. I believe that all of you have some kind of systems with you. If not, okay, no problem. So I do have only this particular answer. Okay, something like this. So question and the query which we have run. Again question, the query which we have run, something like that. That could be required from you people. Okay, I'll give you this entire data to you. Entire data will be also forwarded to you for our purpose, and you have to do it. Okay, so that is what for today's class. So I'll forward immediately. Go ahead.